All right, Archero 2, realize I haven't made a beginner's guide on this, so today we're going to be giving you the ultimate beginner's guide. And as far as the structure of it, really, I'm just going to work from the left tab all the way over to the right tab. So if you are looking for a certain spot, just go and skim through the video until you see that tab open. The first thing I want to say is this is a heavy pay-to-win game. I've got probably about $5,000 or more invested into this, and this is one of those things that if you do spend money, it'll get you up a couple of levels, and then you'll be stuck in another paywall gap. And as far as how long I've been playing for, I did play in the beta, they switched things around, I restarted back in January, so at this time, it's about 4 months worth of progress. So heading over to the shop tab, first things, chapter packs, you beat a chapter, you're going to get the option to purchase one of these. And there is actually some pretty good deals in here, but there is better things to buy. That little number you see up there of say 600% value, of 1000% value, that's actually a good number to go by. The higher the percentage, the better the deal it's going to be. It's just a matter of what you're looking for in the game to help benefit you. Heading down the daily shop, these are things I use gold on every single day, is these 2 weapon scrolls or whatever scrolls are going to be there. And I also pick up the shard for unlocking a character. You will need a certain number of these in order to go and get that character to the next star level, but I find this is worth it for the minimum amount of gems that it's going to cost every day. Heading down to the gear chest. Now, if you don't see these things, just play the game a little further, you'll unlock stuff, and that goes with anything inside this guide. If I have it, you don't have it, just know you probably just need to advance a little bit further in the game, and eventually you'll unlock it. So as far as the chromatic chest and the miststone chest, you really always want to pull from the miststone. There is 3 different miststones to pull from, and you can go and have the option of it every 3 days it rotates. So on a full 9-day cycle, just note that the gear that you want to go for will eventually show up. And we'll go over what the actual different types are and how many different sets there are, but just know miststone, it's the way to go. Better chances of getting the S grades that you want. Unlike other Habby games, there's no benefit of going and waiting to pull times 10. You're not saving any gems at all on it, so if you want to, go and just pull that times 1. I usually wait for the times 10 anyways, but really doesn't serve any different purpose. The silver chest, obsidian chest, these are just going to be kind of free things you can get for watching ads, and I highly suggest if you are going to spend, one of the first things you should get is the ad free. The ads are annoying, you'll get the same one over and over again, so definitely if you can afford it there, it is worth it. Just know that if you are playing on multiple servers, so you have more than one account in the game, that purchase is only going to apply for the server that you bought it in. All right, on to the wishes. This is going to be a spot where you can go and get shards or even have a chance to unlock an artifact. Artifacts are just going to be ways that you can go and get additional stats. We'll show you real quick here, based by the gold finger here, attack power, max HP, and dodge. These are very important. They're tough to get late game. Would I go over and start pulling these things right away? No, I would start working on your gear chest, like the miststone one, before you started working on this. But maybe once you go and get up to a certain rarity on that gear, then you could start working these things in. But you will go and get coins for these. One of the big spots is going to be the seal battle over here, and the chests. Those will refresh after a certain number of time, but that's an easy way to get them. Get them from events too, but ideally, I would say maybe get to your gear, maybe to like say legendary +3 or even mythic before you really start worrying about pulling on those things. Daily special pack, come over here once a day, get that free claim on it. Once again, 400% value, pay attention to those. There is better deals than these, but sometimes if you are chasing after a certain thing and you've already bought everything else, you might want to come over here and get something out of it. Same thing with the weekly special packs. You can see there, these ones are 450%, where the daily ones are going to be 400%. But kicker is, once a week, that's how often they're going to refresh. And on to the monthly special pack, you can see here, once again, it's going to be monthly, 500% value, so pretty much better than those R ones. I have bought the $50 one with the chromatic keys in there. We can use those on the chromatic chest or the miststone chest on it. So that is one spot. Once you run out of other places, you might come over here to grab these. Now the Supreme Treasure Store, this is a little different. I just said if you don't see something inside the game, you might need to advance a little further. This is something that's specific to the whales. I think you have to spend $500 or $600 to unlock this in the game, and once you can see there's 3 deals here for $100. The first one will let you pick an S grade piece of gear, which, by the way, I should probably say up in the monthly one there, the S grade piece of gear there, that's going to be random on it. You don't actually get to go and choose that. You're just going to get one of the 18 pieces of S grade. But down here in the Supreme one, you can see the first one here, we can pick any piece of S grade that we want. There's all 18 of them there. The second one, you can get keys, wishing scrolls, or rune shovels. Promise runes, we'll get into those a little bit later there. And then finally, the last one will give you the option between gold and scrolls. Gold's very difficult to get in this game. It's something that's going to hold you back on it. So it doesn't really look like a lot there, but it's not really a terrible thing. I'd probably go for the scrolls either way, but just know gold, it eventually will become a pain for you to go and get this to upgrade stuff. The second one here is going to be able to get a legendary rune. One of the most popular one in the game is going to be this revive one, which will give you a 50% chance to go and revive yourself when you're dead. Probably the best rune that you can have in the game, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. The second slot though, same thing as the first one that we saw for the purchases, and same thing on that last slot there for either gold or scrolls. The third one though is going to be artifacts, and you can see these are 5 of them right here. There is more than that, but these are pretty much the hardest artifacts to get in the game. The second spot on it is going to give you an epic one. So not like the last 2 there where we can go and have the option between keys, scrolls, and whatever else the garbage was in there. Oh, the shovels, that's what it was. And then finally, the last one on that will also go and be gold and scrolls. Now this does say 24 days, kind of like a monthly rotation. I have purchased out of this and then had it just refresh out of nowhere, so that's might happen to you if you do get to this point, but this can be very easily a big whale spot for you if you are spending, and it really isn't a bad deal in my opinion. Even though it does say 600%, you could definitely target a certain thing that you want, and the fact that you can choose what you need. The gems, this is a spot you probably want to stay away from. I did go and purchase the $50 and $100. It will double the amount of rewards the first time you use this, but this is really not a good spot to go and use your gems. Like I said, I did it. I was in a crunch. I was trying to get stuff, so that's why I had it, because I burned up all the chapter packs that were going to be beneficial for me and any other deals in the game. And then coming down here, we want to collect our free gold every single day. Using gems on that too is going to be pretty expensive for getting gold. This game is going to have a little bit of an aspect, at least for your gear and stuff, that part of it you can't just spend your way through. I mean, you could spend, you're going to be spending a ridiculous amount if you're going to try to rush stuff, but best thing to do is just play the game for a while, let it naturally soak up that gold for you, and upgrade your stuff that way. All right, moving on to the gear screen here, you can see my character, my attack, my HP. The 3 on the left are going to be your kind of attack, and then the 3 on the right are going to be your HP. So depending on which ones you upgrade will decide, what you're going to have for overall stats. There's no going over to it and kind of like recycling what you have for the actual level on it. That slot is going to hold the level. So if I were to go and throw a different piece of gear in, it's still going to stay level 89. There are 3 different S-grade sets. This one here is the Oracle set, which is great for PvE, player versus enemy. This is going to be solid for chapters. It does rely a lot around getting Tracking Eye, which is just an absolutely broken skill to have with this. I consider this the best thing in the game, but depending on what you like to go after, there's other sets too. So the Dragon set, or actually called Dragoon, still call it Dragon, stuck in my mind. That's going to be more set after like a middle ground. PvE and PvP, they did just have a huge boost to this where this works incredibly well with meteors now, so they are trying to buff it to kind of help with the battle against the actual Oracle set we just showed. So where the Oracle set is going to be based a lot around combo in the game, where you're going to just keep on stacking a large amount of hits, it'll give you buffs on it. The Dragon one is going to be set more towards like an AoE explosion. Like I said, works really good with meteors after this buff we just had. There is one other set though for the actual S grade, and that's going to be the Griffin set. Now this is going to be like a close encounter. The closer you are to the enemy or the other player, you're going to have increased damage and crit. This is pretty much the best set in PvP arena, and a lot of players build around this so they can rank and get those high rewards from ranking up high. Now there is 3 non-S grade sets here, and you can see if we go down a little bit, this one is going to be the Echo one. The Echo is pretty much the Oracle set. So the big difference is the Oracle, you're going to have one more set of skills than you would for the actual Echo. And there is some times where you would go and use the non-S grade over the S grade, depending on the rarity. We do have a video for that out there. I'll try to remember to link it or throw it in the description. The best thing to do is if you do have a non-S grade and you're wondering if it's better to use that than the S grade, just go swap it in and see if that number goes up or goes down for your overall CP. You'll hear CP, that's going to be combat power. I like to call it a PP for personal power, but that's just me being weird. Just know try to slot on, the number goes up, you're good. If not, put the other one back on. The destruction set, that's going to be the non-S grade version of the Dragoon set. So once again, if you're looking to build around a full set, this could be a good way to supplement in there. And then the decisiveness set, this is going to be the lesser version of the Griffin set. Now where I am running a full set of Oracle, and I don't really need any of those non-S grades, at some point people will go and start merging different sets for, say, different gear. Something like the Dragon Boots, once you get to a high enough rarity, having that 10% dodge in there actually turns out to be pretty decent. Dodge is a big thing in this game. Once you go and get further enough in, there's pretty much a chance that you're going to get one-shotted by the enemy. So no matter what your health is, one hit, you're dead. That dodge can definitely help out. Right now I have all my stuff in the mythic state. There is a new rarity called Chaotic, and it's very expensive to get there. Like I said, with the money I spent, this is where I'm at. I do have enough to go and take this necklace up to that point, but the hard part is the actual fodders needed to go and take this to the next level. Or I should probably say to the next rarity. In order to take it to that max rarity, Chaotic, you're going to need 14 copies of that single piece of S grade. And so for that Oracle Spear, I'll need to get 14 matching copies of those at Epic. Once you go and unlock an S grade, that's the lowest rarity you're going to find it will be an Epic. For the 266 non-S grades, they'll just have to be inside the weapon class, or an epic weapon, I guess I would say. There is some merging that needs to happen, and you need to have matching ones. We'll link a image of the merging guide right here on it if you want to watch a video. Once again, search for it, or I'll try to link it in the description. There is also different gear sets up top here where we can go and switch if you want to like have a certain loadout, one for PvP, one for chapters. You can switch between those and it'll automatically bring it into it. As far as the runes, this is going to be another spot where you can go and get extra stats and extra buffs, kind of skills and stuff depending on what you have equipped. There is 29 different runes. 7 of them will be the blessing ones. These are going to be the circle ones you see kind of in the center. 11 of them will be the actual enhancement runes. These will be the ones that go on the left, and then 11 of them will be ability runes. The triangle ones, these are going to be called etch runes. These were later added to the game, and if I think correctly here, in order to unlock the first slot, you need to get all of the other ones up to Epic +2. Could have been Epic, I don't really remember, but just go and click on it. It'll tell you what you need to hit on it. As far as getting that middle one, that's where all your other runes need to get to Legendary. You don't need to get these etch ones to that point, but the other, say, 10 slots. And finally, the last one there, which I don't have, I need to get all those other runes up to Legendary +2. Similar to the gear, this is another thing that's difficult to get the rarity up on these. I have one of them right now, which is sitting at Legendary +2. There is Mythic also for the rarity on that, which you can see that's going to be the red skills underneath there. And I'd probably say before you go and try to get more of these things and upgrade the rarity, I would work on getting your gear, at least your 6 pieces, try to get those up to Legendary +3. That'll give an extra slot for you, or an extra stat, I would say. So that's a good point where you say, okay, I got things Legendary +3, let me go and then switch over to the runes and start working to try to get these things to Epic +2, or whatever it is, to unlock that first slot for the etch rune. So far, those etch runes, the only spot that we've been able to see to get them is from events and paying money in the game. So if that's something you want really bad, you can spend. Otherwise, wait for an event to pop up and try to get them. There is 6 different ones, and this weapon, Arrow of Echoes, is probably one of the best ones to have. I also like to pair that up with the elemental one. That's just the way I build. A lot of people will go for the circle ones, which is another good one. And then swords, another way to go. If you're using the Dragoon, then yes, the Meteor would be a good way to go on that. But really personal preference, what you can get. I would say try to use some of the higher rarity runes when playing, but depending on what mode you're going into, like PvP here, the Star of Fury is a very powerful one to have. For those blessing runes, like I said, the revive one is a very strong one to get. This is something you should be using your guild tokens, which we'll talk about that in a second, to go and pull these things until you at least have this unlocked at the epic state. And once you have that, you can start worrying about other things. But this should be a high priority for you to try to get. I am also running the Lucky Shadow because I want to have that dodge in there. And luck, all that is when you see something that says may have the chance to go and set somebody on fire. that luck is going to be increasing those chances. So let's say you have a 10% chance, you now throw this on, luck is plus 10. Now you have a 20% chance of that skill triggering. And similar to the 6 different etch runes there, we have 6 different classes for both the enhancement rune and then the ability rune. So weapon, elemental, circle, swords, meteor, and then sprites. I am one where I always run a healing sprite. I like the fact of being able to get a little bit of health back when I'm in things. So that's something that I do like. But like I said, use probably what's the highest rarity for you. And once you get some matching ones, then you could decide around your build. The spot where we're going to be going to get more runes is where we have those shovels, and that's going to be Rune Ruins. This is going to be one of those things you'll get shovels throughout the game. I think Tower is going to be one of the big things that you can go and get them from, and we might see them in events and probably a couple other spots. But we do have the Rune Ruins, and then we also have the Promise Runes. The 2 icons you see up top are going to pretty much make your chances of getting those ones better. It's a smaller pool to pull from, just like the Miststone chest. However, those 7 Blessing Runes, they still seem to be pretty difficult to get inside this Promise Rune one. For the characters, you can see there's 6 of them here, and I still don't have Ada unlocked. We only have 20 of the shards. There is a Island Adventure event that pops up pretty frequently. I would say use gems on it every day, 750 gems. It is worth it for the extra dice, but that's going to be one of the things you can go and get this hero unlocked. There is 3 different rare heroes. We have Alex, Nyanja, and Helix. I am using Helix right now. A lot of people will use Nyanja also, but either way, you want to try to at least get one of these up to 3 stars to unlock this resonance. As far as the epic ones, we have Seraph and we also have Dracula. A lot of kind of controversy of which one's better. Dracula has some heal on him. Seraph will go and give you better chances of getting better skills. Either way, you want to, like I said, get a hero up to 3 stars because that's where you're going to have this resonance. And this is going to be something where you can go and just grab any skill from another one of those heroes and use it. So Seraph here, I have Dracula on here to go and give some extra healing, but you can see we can go and pick some skills from the other one. Doesn't need to have one of those other heroes there or the other characters up to 3 stars in order to grab that skill from it. The one that is at 3 stars, you can go and pick any of them as long as you have that other hero unlocked. Hence why you can see that I don't have Ada's skill on here. Eventually getting a hero up to 6 stars will now unlock a second resonance slot, so you can go and grab 2 skills, one from one character and one from the other. And depending by the star level itself, you can see up top, that's going to be what skills are coming in that ability. Depending on the level of that ability might make a decision for you of what you're going to use in that resonance. So as you can see, I have this, say, Dracula here at level 2. Once I go and get Dracula up to 5 stars, then that'll say level 3, and I'll get the benefits from that. If you look up top below my player icon, you'll see another spot here where this is going to be the Sacred Hall. And this, you can see the star level everybody's. We can go and get some of this blue Abyssal stonework from the Abyssal Tide. Just a game mode to play, depending on how well you do. You'll get some of that stuff. You can come over here and it's just going to upgrade the stats, make your overall CP higher. And also on the screen, we can change the outfits of our character depending on what you have unlocked. Outfits are strictly cosmetics. There's no additional buffs to them like we would see in Archero 1. Heading on to the chapter screen, there is a lot of stuff here. And I guess the first thing I want to do is click up on my player profile here. You can see my user ID. This is something that you could copy, go onto the actual gift code website there, and use that to allow things to go and get rewards for your game. There is also a monthly one on the Discord where once a month you go over there, put your user ID, it'll ask for like a CAPTCHA type thing, and you'll once again get rewards sent to you in game mail. But you can see here we have our avatar. You can switch your image, you can switch your frames. Some frames are specific to, say, like a 7-day type thing if you rank high inside the arena. Showcase the gear, the runes, and then our artifacts, and then Sacred Hall that we just talked about. Hitting our 3 tabs over here, you can see settings. This can be a way you can go and reduce the effect reduction is kind of a big thing, where if there's too much projectiles on the screen, this will minimize your shots coming out of you so you can better see the enemy arrows. The skip skill choice animation is just going to be a way to kind of speed up the game for you. You're not stuck there just watching the overall animation of the skills pop up for you. Reducing the damage value, this could also help with having too much stuff on the screen, make the performance of the game a little bit better for your phone because it will get hot. And vibration, I would say leave on. Having haptics in this is a nice way to know if you are taking some damage. Selecting the server will allow you to switch between multiple accounts if you do want to play multiple on a single device. A lot of times players will go and start, realize there's some pretty heavy whales inside the server that they're in, so they'll wait for that newest server to pop up and then say, okay, there's a new one right there, I'm going to join up on that, so they'll have better chances of getting those max rewards. Support any in-app game purchases. This is a nice, quick, easy way to go in there. And Habby ID is just a way to link your game, so if you do ever lose it, switch device, easy to kind of transfer back and forth. The game isn't really friendly for going and taking and allowing you to play on both iOS and Android at the same time. However, if you do go and switch from iOS to Android, a lot of times they'll say, okay, we'll give you as much that you spent on this account, we'll give you that in gems on the other account. Not sure how they're doing it today, but that's how they've done it in other games. Mail, this is just going to be something we can go in, collect rewards every single day, depending on our rankings. You can see there, Island Treasure, Guild Battle, Arena Ranking, and then we can claim all and you can delete them all. Don't worry, if you don't claim them all, you won't be able to delete it. You'll actually have to physically click on it to get it, so you're not going to lose anything. Notices, this is where we usually just get our update information. If you're not on the Discord or watching on Facebook, way to at least let you know what's going on in game. The exchange shop. So you can see right here, we popped right up with the island store. This is going to be that one event, like I said, Monopoly wise. There is no real, cheats or secrets on it. You spin a dice, where you land, that's what you get. The only thing I can really say, use the 750 gems when you see it every day, but if you want to, you can hoard up on the dice. The dice won't disappear on you, so if you want to have a whole bunch to try to rank on the leaderboards in that event, you could go save up all these things until you feel like you have enough to go and use them. And you can see there's a lot of shards in here. Shards are going to be just a puzzle piece to complete that full puzzle. So if you go and get any of these things here, don't think you're automatically going to unlock it. You need to hit that threshold of, let's just say, 10 of these Demon King Eye shards in order to go and actually get the full artifact. The guild store, this is going to be a great spot to get a lot of things in here. And as I was saying, the first thing you want to do is you want to be getting this epic blessing rune here. Keep on pulling on this until you go and get that. And the guilds are something you want to make sure you're joining up as fast as you can. Find one that's active, find one that's good. If not, move over to another one, because these are going to be a great way for you to get stuff in game. There is a lot of other good stuff in here too once you go and get that blessing rune. I put a lot of mine into the shards for Alex, Nyanja, and Helix there. I'm trying to kind of just keep on building up on those, so that's where I go and use all my currency on that. But as you can see, there's plenty of other things. Use it however you want. That's just what I do. And we also have the arena shop down here. That's going to be like the guild shop, just on steroids, where we can go and get rare hero shards in there. This one will have the epic ones. Plenty of good stuff in here also on this. I would say if you are pulling on that blessing rune for the guild shop, you haven't gotten the revive one yet, then come over here to the arena one and take shots of trying to get the random epic blessing for the revive here. Like I said, that's going to be one of your high priorities in this game, to get that blessing rune. In the watch video, occasionally they'll have a video on here where if you watch it over on YouTube, you click on it real quick, you come back, you'll get like 20 gems. All right, privilege cards. This is something that, as you can see, we have just about every single one of them unlocked here and paid for. So as far as the ad-free, that's going to be a big one there. It's going to include daily free gems, which we just got. The other one that's a great one to get is going to be the lifetime supply card. If you plan on playing this game for a good amount of time, this is a must to purchase. It really is going to help you out, and it's a good thing to go for. Regardless if you buy stuff or not, you will have this daily gift up here for just 10 gems. Not a lot, but it helps out. The monthly card, use this, get it at your own risk if you want to. New skill refreshes in battle. If you don't like the skills you see, you hit the refresh, you'll get 3 new skills or 2 new skills to choose from. Skippable arena battles, that's something that I like. It's not perfect, you still have to go into it, wait for that skip button to pop up, and then you can go and skip it. The Hunting Warrior card, this is one that I absolutely love, and the fact that we have unlimited quick hunts. This is going to be one of those things when you go to bed, you have a lot of energy, you go over, you quick hunt as much as possible, and you get a bunch of good rewards. We'll show you in a couple of minutes here. The Cave Explorer card, I do like this one too. This is going to give us more chances at the Gold Cave. This is going to be one of those things we'll show you here. It's pretty much maxing out at difficulty 100. They're going to add more levels eventually, they said on it, but I can go quick raid this here, and you can see we get about 20,000 gold. It does give a bunch of scrolls too in there, but this is one of those things, I just kind of come over here every single day, bam, bam, bam. I have that ad free. I don't need to watch that ad, so I can just hit quick raid again on it. and bam, we get some goods. So we got about 20 to 23,000 gold every time we did that. And you can see over here at the gear, if I came up over here to my weapon, it's going to be 200,000 gold to go and upgrade it. So pretty much once a day, I can upgrade a piece of gear. As far as that unlock the auto dig inside the Rune Ruins, I don't think I have enough of them to do it on it, but it's pretty much garbage. There's 9 squares to go when you're going to do these rune things. You could just pick it with the fingers. If you don't want to do that, you want to do the auto mine, it just goes in bam, bam, bam on all 3 rows until you hit 2 keys. We'll talk more about that in a second also, but you can see we got a couple of runes there. The Sealing Master card is another one I like. This allows us to go in quick raid inside the seal battle. This was one of the spots where we can go and get wishing scrolls from. Right now, we still, okay, tomorrow it resets, or the refresh today. But once you go, I can just hit the quick raid here and go and defeat this boss. Depending on what your best run was during the season, every time we hit that quick raid, it's going to be taking that high number again. So if I go all the way down, you can see my first 2 runs were pretty bad there at 302. Once I hit a good run on it, now I just go over here, quick raid every single day, and bam, once again, watch the ad. I don't need to, hit quick raid, and we're ranking in 3rd place right now. Depending on where we rank inside this, we will get rewards. You can see here, looks like I'm going to be getting 3,000 gems and 26 of those wishing coins. So that's it for the cards, but we also have funds. It's probably not going to show every single one that's inside here because I have already gone through, bought some of them, finished them all the way through. But Adventure Fund, this is a great way to go here. Lots of gems, 1,500% returns up there. Like I said, pay attention to those numbers. But you can see we've bought these things all the way through, and there's a lot of gems and then also wishing coins in there too. Sky Tower Fund, that's gonna be another one. There's some keys in there. Once again, 1,500% value. I think there was more. I have a video about everything to purchase inside this for all the cards, all the funds. Once again, I'll try to remember to link it in the description. If anything I say I'm gonna link that I forgot, leave a comment and then I'll make sure I throw it in there because I'm gonna forget some of these things. But on top of the ad-free and the lifetime card, these are 2 other high priorities I'd say to get if you do plan on spending money. Up top, we have our season, and this is going to be the battle pass. Now the stuff on the left is going to be free, and then the middle one and the right one are going to be purchases. Now this is a great way to go and get some of those shards for whatever hero is up there. So right now we have a Dracola on it. And if you do purchase the one on the right, you don't get the middle. You'll also need to purchase that middle one too. This is on Season 4 right now, based by my server. Every day when a new server comes out, it'll start off at Season 1. So if you are on an older server, you probably will see more seasons. But if you're on a newer one, you'll see less of them. Still, this will last for about a month's period, and I have bought these too. I don't think they're as good as some of the other ones there, but I mean, it does say 2,500% return. It really is going to be depending on, do you need all these little things, which I'll probably end up buying this within the next 23 days. The way you go and get further down this tier is going to be by your daily tasks. We'll talk about that in a second. But once we do go and get to the end of this, if you did go and get one of the paid versions on it, you can go and fill up that meter down the bottom. It looks like you're going to be getting a silver key out of that to go and get some more gear. Up on the right hand side, we're going to have ranking. This is going to be for whoever's winning the server right now. So right now you can see that's me beating on the chapter. We're beating on Sky Tower. We're beating on personal power, and even the guild, we're winning on that too. So for my server, I'm the max of everything in there. I'm the one that spent the most money pretty much. That's what it really comes down to. So as far as the rewards on this for both the campaign and the Sky Tower, whoever goes and reaches that first time completing it will go and have this pop up. It'll log your name on it. You can see there I am, a whole bunch, but everybody on that server can come into here and collect the gems that are next to it, which is like 50 gems. But still, it's a nice way to get some extra gems in the game to use towards other things. As far as the task center, this is going to be one of the things you want to make sure you're doing all these daily tasks every single day, and you're also going to be making sure you're doing your weekly ones. We can come over here in the sign in on it. That's going to be something just every day. It'll pop up right for you. You collect this, you get free stuff. And then make sure you're going and collecting all these things up at the top. We just got some more arena tickets. But one of the things they just added is now inside the Abyssal Tide, where we can go and fight enemies. That's how we get that sacred hull for our characters. Now enemies we kill in there will apply towards the thing inside here, like defeat 100 minions. This shouldn't be too hard to go and complete. Literally 10 minutes a day is all you have to play this game to go through, do all your dailies and stuff if you spent money to go and quick raid through things, but definitely make sure you're getting this done because it will add, and that goes for the same thing for the weekly. Achievements, just another way to get gems based by what you've completed inside the game. And just because I collected whatever that was in there, you can see now we have the next tier inside our battle pass. We can go and use gems if we want to go and unlock the next tier. I would say don't do that unless you've actually paid for the other things and you're like on the last day of doing it. But if you're playing every day, shouldn't be any trouble at all to complete this. There is a couple of events going on right now. They will pop up over on this right hand side. So right now we have the campaign route, and if you look up the loot up fund here, I got a whole bunch of free gems and free energy on the left hand side, and then over on the right hand side was the paid version for $15 to get a whole bunch of chromatic keys. Once again, 1500% return, that was a good one to go for. The spring lottery event, this is another one right here, not really a good event on it. See, there is tasks that we can go and get some of these free things. You can go and even go over to the spring pack. We can get free ones, we can watch an ad, or we can spend 3,000 gems. This is not one that I would probably spend the gems on. I mean, I might because I've already spent $15 on the spring fun here, but this is kind of a bad event, I guess I would say. A lot of people complain about this game being too pay to win, and this is going to be one of the examples right here on it. But if you are looking to spend, this is a great way that you can go then exchange and get things like S-grade pieces of gear, get some artifact stuff, get some of those runes. You see, that's a nice easy way to get the Revine one. Although I did spend $15 on the actual fun on that, and you can see we're still only less than 2,000. So if you want that 10,000 one right there, that's going to be you spending a good chunk of money. We do have videos on this event. Really, the only time I would go and spend gems on an event is going to be when you see the Island Adventure, which going for that auto one, and the other good one is going to be the fishing event. Everything else, just go do the free-to-play stuff in there. If you want to use gems, but I try to stay away from spending money on it because you'll be $5,000 in a hole like I am. Our up hunt down here, you can see this is going to be our quick rewards on it. You can go and claim it based by how long it's been since you've last logged in. Those will be your AFK rewards. And then those quick hunts, we got some ads we can watch. Like I said, it's so much easier not having to watch ads to click on these. And then I can go through, use my energy, and just click this as many times as I want until I burn it up and pretty much get some goods out of it. Energy will revive every 12 minutes. You'll get 1 energy. If we click up at the top right here, we can go watch ads on that, get more, or we can use gems. Every time you use gems every day, that number will keep on creeping up on you, go from 100 to 200 and so on, but every day it will reset back to that default 100. The chapters, that's going to be set in the center. You can go back and play other chapters there, and you can see there is a star icon underneath that. Talk about that in a second. But depending on what chapter you are, you will be limited on if you can go and play that next chapter based by the Sky Tower. So as you can see here, clear Sky Tower floor 775. I'm stuck on the chapter right now. I'm not stuck on the Sky Tower. Sky Tower, we're floor 975. So as long as I can just keep on beating these chapters, I won't be stuck on it. So if I kept on going all the way up to 975, I pretty much wouldn't be able to play past, say, what is it here? Chapter 84 would be the point where I could go and, say, oh, you got to go over and beat the Sky Tower. Sky Tower is easier for me at this point. These chapters are hard because I'm getting one-shotted. You should know how chapters work based by, that's pretty much how the game starts you off. You stop moving, you shoot, you're trying not to get hit, you want to beat bosses. I do have a best video out there for what skills you should be picking inside chapters when using the actual Oracle set there. So once again, link that in the description if you want to know more about it. Now the daily hunt over here on the left hand side, if we go and play one of these and complete that chapter in there, we're going to get one of these quick hunt tickets, which I just showed you. You go over there, you click it, you get a bunch of stuff. So if you want to, try to come over here every day, use your 5 energy, play that chapter if you have time to do so. You can speed it up at times too. Makes things go a little bit quicker, but going and beating that will then give you a ticket to allow you to get more rewards. The Star Challenge is also another good spot here too, is you go replay old chapters. If you beat it fast enough, you take less than a certain number of attacks, and you don't use a revive, you'll get stars. Based by how many stars you have, you can then come over here, claim rewards. You can see we get a bunch of gems. Every now and then, like 162 here, that 250 gems now goes up to 2,500 gems. So some quick, easy way to go and get some gems that you can then go over, use on the Miststone chest, and pull some good gear. We do have the chat down here on the bottom. We have cross servers. You have the world, which means just the server that you're on. You do have guilds, and then obviously the recruit itself, where if you are in a guild trying to get people to come to you, this is a way you can say, hey, join my guild. Now, as far as going into the guilds themselves, click on this here. You can see we have the guild hall. If I wanted to, I could click this recruit button up next to the number of players that are in my guild, and that would send it over to that recruit chat. Based by how much you donate every day, we'll go and give clan experience. It'll also give some guild coins too that we can use in one of those shops to try to get that revive blessing room. I myself, I'm a believer of going in here every day and doing all 5 of these. Help out my guild, get the level up means that we can have more people inside the guild, but this is also a way I'm getting guild coins back to go and benefit from the shop. Similar to the seal battle, we will have monster invasion. This is a 2-minute battle against this boss. We can speed it up by ×2. And they did add the quick raid here, although you do need to go and play it the first time. Whatever you get for the score, you can quick raid on that, and then you pretty much just don't have to worry about playing it a second time. You can only play this twice a day. There is rankings in here based by your guild, just kind of like a little bit of a bragging thing between your guild mates. Nothing too crazy besides that. And then depending by how well your guild does, which you can see here, we are in number 3, which is a little bit bad. We need to work on that. We'll get rewards of guild coins and gold based by your slot of where your guild is. And then this is just another way to get you over to the guild shop. There's a couple different spots in the game where you can go and get into this, but just kind of a visual representation of where that shop is. The Abyssal Tide, this is going to be a kind of like an endless mode in the game. You only really need to play it for 2 minutes to go and get these chests open up over here in the bottom right corner. You can practice on it if you want to test things out. Don't really know anybody that does this, but you get 2 tries a day at it. After that, you can go and use gems, but this is going to be that currency we go and use our characters inside that sacred hall to get that overall stat. Every day we'll have different kind of buffs and nerfs to your character, like vision, 1 hit, poison pools, a whole bunch of different stuff, but play it for 2 minutes. Once you go and every time you get a level up inside it, you get, I think, like 50 more of these Abyssal stones. So if you can make it long enough in there, you could get a portion of them, but me, I get to about 2 minutes and then I don't really worry about it 2 more after that. As far as the talents and artifacts, now the talents, there is based by how many times you can go and draw on this. You see draw after level 55, where you can go and you need to get further on your player experience. That's going to be something where you're going to just have to play the game and to get the experience. There is an intelligence rune where you can go and throw this on when you're playing chapters. If you're not worried about that dodge or the revive, that'll help you get more experience to get you more levels up in it. But it's just one of those things. I'd say pull on these. It is going to take gold in order to go and upgrade this. So now you're drawing away from your levels of your gear to go and get these. But this is something you do want to try to push these. I think right now I maybe have like, say, 110 of these unlocked. But this is also going to be the tab where we can see all our artifacts in here. I still don't have all of them unlocked. The events, we're working on getting the actual Swiftwind Jade right here. And this also has the Wish coin down here, which will kind of direct you back over to the stuff we saw in the shop tab. So you can see there, we just got some shards. If I go back over, it doesn't look like I actually got anything to go and level up. Once you go and get enough of them there, it'll then say, hey, do you want to star up? There'll be a little icon, little red exclamation point like we see everything else. But once again, just another way to upgrade your overall stats. Now, this will go from 5 yellows to eventually, I think, 5 reds to 5 pinks. I think there's like 16 levels on these things here that you can go into. If we go and look at, say, one of the top players inside the game, or even if we go over Arena and I click on this guy, his artifacts, you can see he's starting to work in there. But there's really strong players in here that have spent and this is going to be one of the hardest things for you to get in the game. But getting these things upgraded is going to be coming from those wishing, and the point where you should start spending your gems on that is a really tough one, because once you get your gear to legendary +3, you're going to be working on your runes to epic +2. You might start working on the gear back to mythic, and then you might work on your runes up to, say, legendary. There is a lot of stuff you need to upgrade in this, and there really is no good time to invest one or the other. I myself, I'm working on getting my gear up to chaotic. Once I go and at least get a couple of them up there, I'll start working on my runes, get those up to, say, legendary +2 so I can unlock that extra slot. And then from there, I'll probably say, you know what, I'm going to start pulling on this wishing more to go and see if we can get some of these other artifacts unlocked. Really just do what's best for you there. It's a tough decision with how many gems you need in order to upgrade all these things. But the Sky Tower, that's going to be, like I said, another spot there where you can just kind of go get rewards in it. This is going to be something you get shovels. A lot of the, say, 50 or 25 will be the big rewards on this chest down here. I need to go and get down to 1,000. This is going to be 5 floors. You're going to go in, select some skills. We got videos showing on those, but this is a good spot to go and get shovels out of it. At first, this might be one of those things that's capping you from going and playing on to the next chapter because you might be stuck on one of these early on. The arena, this is going to be, once again, another spot where you can go into PvP. Like I said, the Griffin is strong on here. Based by your daily rewards, you'll be getting some of those arena tickets, and then based by where you rank for season rewards, you'll be getting even more stuff like gold, a lot of those tickets, and you can get this, say, banner here, which I have on right now, that'll last 7 days. See it up in the top left there, but depending on how well you do in the arena, if you decide that you're going to wait till those last minutes, try to get all your attacks in for the best thing, I think like 10 minutes before the day resets, you won't be able to attack. There is presets in here. You can see down the bottom, depending on the gear set you're going for. Me being the Oracle, I'm going to keep my distance, reduce the movement. For maybe the Dragon one, you might want to go any of the 3, probably not the closest one, but the Griffin set, that's where you're going to be wanting to go the closest. And you can go select what you're using for your gear and also what you're using for your loadout of, say, your character or the behavior itself of down the bottom. I am going Helix on this one. That's just what I choose to do. And I do have Helix using the Dracola healing too, which is really going to help also. A lot of players go Circle inside this. They kind of go for the Ring of Death, whatever it is. I guess decide what you think might be best for your build and maybe bounce it off a couple of their players. As you go in here though, you can refresh the players you go up against as many times as you want. You see the tickets up there, and going in, I usually just look for people below 1,000. Depending where they are on the list will be what you're going to win and what you're going to lose up top there. So if I go and I attack one of these people down the bottom and I lose, I'm going to lose a lot more than attacking this guy at the top. But I'll usually just go in. I'm one where I attack on this 4th row here. I can go and hit challenge. And as far as that whole skip feature from the past, you'll see it down here in the bottom right. Just show it up, skip on that, and we can go and blast through. Now there is ×1, ×2, ×3 if you don't have the skip, so there is ways to speed it up. But I'll probably wait a couple more hours and then go in, make my attack, so I can at least make sure I'm in that top 10 to get that avatar frame again. Seal battle, we talked about that already. That is similar to the boss battle we saw inside the guild, but once again, this is just going to be the seal version of it here. The gold cave, we talked about that. Once again, make sure you're coming here every day. And those rune ruins, we talked about those also. There is the packs over here. We did mention the whole thing of being able to get the etched runes. You can see it in there in the purchase one, $100 right there for it, and then $100 down the monthly one also. But anywhere you see a red exclamation, make sure you're coming over, clicking on that to get the freebies, or it'll at least let you know, hey, you have some runes that you can merge. Just look for those exclamations. So I think that's everything really to go over on this. Like I said, there's a ton of other guides. If you want to know about the fusing one, I'll at least have that linked on an end card right here if you can see it on your thing, and we'll also put that up in the pinned comment. So hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.